What's up everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out. EMT here, and in this video, we are taking out for a spin the brand new Hohem iSteady V2, and I'm sharing 5 reasons why I absolutely love this gimbal and how Hohem single-handedly is making your smartphones and action cameras even smarter. Let's go. So we've been actually covering Hohem smartphone gimbals for quite some time. If you have not seen the previous videos, check out the playlist in the description, or of course any of the annotations throughout the video. Now I've actually had the iSteady V2 for quite some time. I've been waiting to make this video because I actually wanted to take it on a couple of trips that I had lined up in the past weeks. And so far, my experience has been amazing. The Hohem iSteady V2 will set you back $129. It comes with everything you need out the box to hit the ground running. It comes with a pouch, a wrist strap, and of course the USB cables. And this gimbal has 9 hours of battery life and 280 grams of payload capacity. Now, just to put this in perspective, the 12 Pro Max weighs 228 grams, making the iSteady V2 able to hold big smartphones, and you have a little bit of extra leg room on top if you want to add microphones or different lenses or filters. You name it. I was using the Hohem iSteady V2 on my recent trip to Chicago, and I had the gimbal in my pocket and the smartphone in my other pocket, and that's it. That's all I had. And it was very, very easy to carry around. Very similar to the Hohem iSteady X, which we've actually covered on the channel before. If you haven't seen that one, check out the link in the description. Now, jumping straight to reason number 1 is the AI vision sensor. So this is the AI vision sensor. And what it does is when you turn it on by pressing this button at the top of the gimbal, it actually allows you to do face tracking no matter which application you're using. You have no idea how many messages I've actually received over the years of creating content on YouTube regarding using face tracking capabilities with third-party applications, because usually for face tracking to work, you actually have to use the gimbal's application. But in my opinion, this gimbal is changing the game because you can actually now use face tracking no matter the app. You could be FaceTiming and move around and have this gimbal follow you while you're having a conversation or even a Zoom meeting. You can have the gimbal follow you while you're recording stories, reels, or TikTok videos. Heck, I've even used it for watching movies, and every time I move around to reach for something on the table while it's sitting, the gimbal stays looking at me, and I can get the best viewing angle for my smartphone. And not to mention that you can actually grab any action camera and mount it on the phone grip, and you can actually have face tracking with the Insta360 or any GoPro or any action camera that you possess. It is really, really magical to be able to do this, and it starts making me wonder why other gimbals or why other camera manufacturers haven't come up with a way to make this synchronize and work. Hohem just went ahead and leapfrogged everybody else and said, hey, no matter which smartphone you use or no matter which camera you use with our gimbal, in this case, you'll be able to use the AI vision sensor and track, which is game-changing in my opinion. Jumping to reason number 2 is the 3-axis stabilization. And this is a common feature of a stabilizer, right? It's meant to do one thing and one thing very well, and that's stabilize your footage. So I took the Hohem iSteady V2 out for a spin, and we tested handheld video versus, of course, the 3-axis stabilization with the Hohem V2 using the native camera app on the 12 Pro Max and the 12. We also tested the stabilization using the Insta360 One R action camera, just so you have an idea of what that looks like and if it's something that could impact the overall sharpness and clarity of the videos when zooming in or getting into the nitty-gritty, and maybe it's something that you could replace digital image stabilization with. In my opinion, the stabilization is on point with the iSteady X and pretty much any other gimbal in the industry. It does a really, really good job in keeping everything smooth. I do wish the tilting action was a little bit more wide, so you could tilt it a little bit more. But when it comes to stabilizing your video and coming up with cinematic shots like a crane shot or a sliding shot or just simply recording yourself walking forward, I think the quality of the stabilization is on par with pretty much anything out there. But I want you to let me know your thoughts when we compared handheld versus the iSteady X on both the smartphones and of course the Insta360 One R. Reason number 3 is actually the LED light that's below the AI vision sensor. And this is pretty straightforward, but once again, one of those things that once you have it, it's really hard not having it. With previous smartphones, I never really felt the need to have an additional light because I was always in environments that, you know, had light and I'm always chasing that light. But now, if I am indoors or if we are filming during the nighttime and I want to vlog, capture some behind the scenes, being able to leverage this LED light is clutch because you don't have to carry an additional thing. So once again, we're getting to the point where we're consolidating and this gimbal is starting to become way more practical than anything else out there because you have that light and because the AI vision sensor can allow you to track on multiple applications. You can also use your action cameras, and slowly but surely we're being able to do more with less, and I am all out for that. There are 3 levels of intensity for the LED light, which gives you a little bit better possibilities if you're live streaming or just simply capturing stories and content for social media. This is definitely one of those features that I wasn't too hyped about, but now that I have it, I never want to not have it. Reason number 4 is gesture controls. So if you want the AI vision sensor to start tracking you, once you power it on, all you have to do is do the OK sign and the gimbal will start tracking you. When you're ready to stop the AI vision sensor from tracking you, all you got to do is hold your hand up and it will stop tracking. You can re-engage it just by doing the OK sign again, which is really nice because if you are doing a FaceTime and you sit down and you come back, and you can actually have it stop tracking by holding up your hand or re-engage it by doing the OK sign. But the coolest thing is that at times you're using your smartphone and then you want to watch a movie or a video. Maybe you want to live stream horizontally or vertically. You can actually switch from portrait to landscape on the fly by holding up your thumbs and just rotating them to the side. It was really cool because when I was switching from my home screen into a landscape application like a filming app or even a video, sometimes smartphone apps like, for example, Disney Plus are portrait, and then when you start playing the movie, that's when you can switch to landscape. So it was actually really cool to navigate the menus in portrait, but then just simply switch to landscape by holding up both thumbs. Or if you want to switch back again to landscape, just switch between those 2 positions. So horizontal, vertical, to have the gimbal rotate around. It's once again one of those things that allows you to interact with the gimbal without having to touch it as often as possible. There is still a button that allows you to switch on the fly if you're going handheld, but when you're using Zoom or FaceTime, if you want to be able to take advantage of landscape or portrait, all you got to do is hold thumbs up for landscape, rotate them to the side for portrait. And reason number 5 is native camera support. So the iSteady V2 has native camera support, which means that once you pair this gimbal to your smartphone, you're going to be able to use the gimbal shutter in order to control the native camera app, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. So this is extremely impactful because still to this day, there are gimbals that do not quite connect directly to the smartphone in order to control the native shutter, and that forces you to use their app, and sometimes the applications might not have the feature set that you're looking for. For example, if I'm filming with the native camera, because I do like the fact that it's just quick swipe from the lock screen and I'm already there, or maybe you're just using Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, being able to just control the shutter with the gimbal comes in very clutch, and it's a lot less effort. If you're walking down the street vlogging or you just want to capture a story, you get that additional extra inches of distance, being able to capture more in the frame. If you're hanging out with friends, just being able to trigger that boomerang right from the handle of the gimbal is very, very useful when you're on the go. Of course, the Hohem iSteady V2 is feature packed. using their application. They have their own app. They can use face tracking. You have video, photo modes. You even have a moment mode that makes creating videos effortless without editing. You can create some really cool dolly zoom shots or even some awesome inception shots that rotate the camera, add music. So it's a lot less work if you just want to create content and just post it up on the internet with no editing. The application also has a pro mode, which allows you to interact with things like ISO, exposure compensation, and white balance, which is awesome because once again, you might be able to find a complete solution with their application, minimizing the jump between different applications. And there are a lot of customizations with the motor speeds and the reaction time if you want to invert or just change your actual modes in which the gimbal moves or tilts or pans. The application is actually on par with other apps from other gimbals in the industry, so it's very good that they didn't compromise on the quality in this app. And so far on iOS, everything is running very smooth and very polished. I haven't had any issues while testing this out on my different trips. Sitting at $129, I think you're getting a complete solution here. There's honestly nothing negative that I have to say about this gimbal other than just the tilting action, but I'm willing to live with that because of all the other extra features and capabilities that you get with the Hohem iSteady V2. So congratulations, Hohem, on an amazing gimbal. Thank you so much for sending this unit for me to test. The links for the Hohem iSteady V2 are down in the description, but I want to know what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you have any questions or suggestions, drop them down there so we can continue to create relevant content for you. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and a sub. And as always, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'll catch you on the next one.